All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Government extends Ayushman Bharat Health Scheme to Central Armed Police Forces. India and China to hold 9th round of senior military level talks at Moldo near LAC. Ladakh tableau to participate in Republic Day parade for the first time this year. World Health Organization thanks Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for continued support in fight against COVID-19. 51st International Film Festival of India to conclude in Goa this evening. And National Girl Child Day been observed today. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has launched the Ayushman CAPF health scheme in Guwahati for about 28 lakh Central Armed Police Forces and their families in all the states where Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is operational. Assam Chief Minister Sarvanand Sonowal, MOS Home Nityanand Rai, Assam Finance Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla were also present on this occasion. Addressing the gathering, Mr. Shah paid tributes to Netaji Subhash Bose. He said it was a great occasion coinciding with the Parakram Divas to start Ayushman Bharat scheme for the Central Armed Police Forces.
और कैशलेस सिस्टम है, आप कार्ड दे दीजिए, वो स्वैप कर लेंगे, आप चले जाइए, आपको कोई चिंता करने की जरूरत। और उसी का मॉडल अपनाते हुए गृह विभाग ने ये प्रधानमंत्री आयुष्मान भारत योजना का एक एक्सटेंशन CAPF आयुष्मान की शुरुआत की। इसके तहत लगभग 10 लाख CAPF के जवान और अधिकारी और 50 लाख के आसपास कुल मिलाकर उनके परिवार परिजन, ये 50 लाख लोगों को कहीं पर भी देश के अंदर 24,000 अस्पताल के अंदर आप सिर्फ कार्ड लेकर उसको स्वैप कर आप आपके परिजनों का इलाज करा सकते हो.
The Home Minister remembered the sacrifice and bravery of the Central Paramilitary Forces in nation's building. Mr. Shah said that the centre is committed for the welfare of the security forces and their family members, and the government decided to launch Ayushman Bharat CAPF for them.
सभी CAPF के कर्मचारियों को और उनके परिवारजनों को एक हेल्थ कार्ड भी दिया जाएगा और हर साल CAPF के कर्मचारियों का स्वास्थ्य परीक्षण होगा और हर तीसरे साल इनके सभी परिजनों के स्वास्थ्य की भी चिंता हम करने वाले हैं. और आपका हेल्थ कार्ड कहीं पर भी लेकर जाओगे तो आपके हेल्थ के बारे में जितनी भी जानकारियां हैं वो सीधी अस्पताल के कंप्यूटर पर डाउनलोड हो जाएगी.
Home Minister Amit Shah will take part in the opening ceremony of the first BTR Bodoland Territorial Region Accord Day celebration at Kokrajhar in Assam today. Assam Chief Minister Sarvanand Sonowal, Chief of BTR Pramod Boro, among others, will also attend the event. The BTR Accord was signed last year on the 27th of January in New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took part in the celebration of the signing of the accord at Kokrajhar last year. We spoke to Siddharth Singh, Principal Secretary of BTR, on the first anniversary of the accord celebrations.
Honorable Home Minister, Government of India would be visiting Kokrajhar and BTC region for the opening ceremony of first BTR Accord Day celebration on 24th. We are privileged to have him along with the Honorable Chief Minister, Finance Minister, CEM of BTC and other dignitaries. A program befitting the occasion has been organized for the opening ceremony, and it is expected that the people of BTR region would be participating in huge numbers.
Mr. Shah will also take part in a BJP rally at Nolbari today.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said Assam is the heart of heritage in India and a fast-paced and all-round development of Assam is very important to the government. The Prime Minister was speaking after handing over 1.06 lakh land pattas or allotment certificates to beneficiaries in Jerangapather in Shibsagar in Assam.
असम में जैसे जैसे रेल और एयर कनेक्टिविटी का दायरा बढ़ रहा है, लॉजिस्टिक्स से जुड़ी सुविधाएं बेहतर हो रही है, वैसे वैसे यहाँ उद्योग और रोजगार की नई संभावनाएं बन रही हैं। लोकप्रिय गोपीनाथ बोरदोलोई इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट में आधुनिक टर्मिनल और कस्टम क्लियरेंस सेंटर का निर्माण हो, कोकराझार में रूपसी एयरपोर्ट का आधुनिकीकरण हो, बोंगई गांव में मल्टी मॉडल लॉजिस्टिक हब का निर्माण हो, ऐसी सुविधाओं से ही असम में औद्योगिक विकास को नया बल मिलने वाला है.
Taking into account the urgent need to protect the land rights of indigenous people of the state, Government of Assam came out with a comprehensive new land policy with a renewed emphasis on protecting the land rights of the indigenous people. Prime Minister said the indigenous people have got legal recognition for their land and parallel to that, they can also avail all the welfare schemes of the government. He said government is planning to make Sati Joy Mati's memory in Jerenga Pather as an iconic archaeological site. The Prime Minister said Assam is a significant part of Atmanirbhar Bharat, where 11,000-kilometer road has been constructed, and the way to Atmanirbhar Assam is through Atmavishwas among the people of Assam.
हमारा देश इस वर्ष अपनी आजादी के 75 वर्ष में प्रवेश कर रहा है. सैकड़ों वर्षों की गुलामी से मुक्ति दिलाने के लिए असम के अनगिनत लोगों का योगदान है. जो उस समय थे उन्होंने देश की आजादी के लिए जीवन दे दिया, अपनी जवानी खपा दी. अब आपको नए भारत के लिए, आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए जी करके दिखाना है, जीवन को सार्थक करके दिखाना है. अब से लेकर भारत की आजादी के 100 वर्ष पूरे होने तक ये 25-26 साल आपके जीवन के भी स्वर्णिम वर्ष हैं. असम को, नॉर्थ ईस्ट को विकास की नई ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाएंगे.
Mr. Modi reiterated that the NDA government has always kept the preservation of the Assamese culture as its foremost intention behind implementing policies, including the protection of the Assamese language and promotion of its literature. The Prime Minister also lauded the Assam government for handling the COVID-19 situation in a humanitarian manner and called it praiseworthy.
मुझे विश्वास है कि असम अब टीकाकरण के अभियान को भी सफलता के साथ आगे बढ़ाएगा. मेरा असम वासियों से भी आग्रह है कि कोरोना टीकाकरण के लिए जिसकी बारी आए वो टीके जरूर लगवाएं और ये भी याद रखें कि टीके की एक डोज नहीं, 2 डोज लगनी जरूरी है. पूरी दुनिया में भारत में बने टीके की डिमांड हो रही है. भारत में भी लाखों लोग अब तक टीका लगा चुके हैं. हमें टीका भी लगवाना है और सावधानी भी जारी रखनी है.
India and China will hold the 9th round of military talks today to defuse the border standoff in eastern Ladakh. The corps commander level talks will be held at Moldo on the Chinese side of the line of actual control. The latest round of talks will take place after more than 2 months. The last time two sides had met to resolve the issue was in November 2020. Indian and Chinese troops have been locked in a face-off at multiple points, the Pangong Lake, Hot Springs and the Dipsang Plains, since May last year. 8 rounds of military talks so far have failed to find a breakthrough.
Government has said that more than 15,37,000 beneficiaries have been vaccinated for COVID-19 till yesterday across the country. Briefing media on COVID vaccine, Additional Health Secretary Dr. Manohar Agnani said a total of 1,46,598 beneficiaries were vaccinated till 6 p.m. yesterday in 27 states and union territories. He said the hospitalization against vaccination is only 0.0007%. Mr. Agnani said 6 deaths have been reported till date and none of these deaths have been casually linked with COVID-19 vaccination.
As on 23rd January 2021, a total of 15,37,190 beneficiaries have been vaccinated for COVID-19 and for which a total of 27,776 sessions have been held. Another highlight is that in states and UTs, prominent doctors after getting vaccinated are becoming part of the communication campaign.
A total of 13,90,592 people have been administered COVID-19 vaccines in the country so far. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry said that more than 3,47,000 people have been inoculated with COVID-19 doses in the 6,241 sessions within 24 hours. The ministry said Karnataka stands at top position with over 1,84,000 jabs followed by Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh and Telangana. Country's COVID-19 recovery rate reached 96.82%, with the total recovery of more than 17,000 patients in the last 24 hours.
A total of 197 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 6,33,000. Delhi government said that over 6,21,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 367 people recovered and 10 deaths were reported in the city, taking the toll to 10,799. Presently, the total number of active cases in the national capital is 1,880. In Gujarat, the fresh cases of COVID-19 are constantly reducing. The recovery rate has further improved to 96.39%. More than 31,000 healthcare workers got vaccinated yesterday. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
31,116 persons were given COVID-19 vaccine in Gujarat yesterday. With this, the total persons received the COVID-19 vaccine have reached up to 78,319. Meanwhile, Gujarat has recorded 423 new cases of COVID-19. The total number of COVID-19 cases detected so far in Gujarat has reached up to 2,58,687. Out of this, 2,49,352 patients recovered. 702 patients discharged from the hospitals after recovery during the past 24 hours. 85 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 92 new cases. At present, total active cases in the state are 4,960, out of which 50 patients are on ventilator. One patient died yesterday, taking the total deaths due to COVID-19 up to 4,375. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Karnataka, 902 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported during the past 24 hours. Among the new cases, Bangalore urban reported the highest number of 527. At the same time, 542 people were cured from the disease and discharged from various hospitals in the state. 3 COVID patients lost their lives and the total fatalities have increased to 12,193. As of now, 7,342 COVID patients are undergoing treatment across the state. Among them, 157 are in the ICU. In Bihar, 12,351 health workers were vaccinated for COVID-19 during the past 24 hours. With this, 75,978 people have been vaccinated so far. No side effect has been reported from any part of the state. Meanwhile, 2,55,771 patients have so far recovered from the COVID-19 infection in Bihar. The number of active cases of COVID-19 is continuously declining.
The World Health Organization has thanked India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for their continued support in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. In a tweet, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said, "We can stop this virus and save lives and livelihoods only if we act together, including sharing of knowledge." India has been sending vaccines to countries in the South Asian region and others like Brazil and Morocco. South Africa will also get the vaccine soon. The WHO chief's tweet comes hours after a similar tweet by Brazilian President Jair M. Bolsonaro, who thanked India for the vaccines. Mr. Bolsonaro said Brazil feels honored to have a great partner like India to overcome the global pandemic. Brazilian President thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi for assisting Brazil with the vaccines exports from India. India dispatched 2 million doses of Covishield vaccines to Brazil on Friday. Covishield has been developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University and is being manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan and Maldives have got over 3.2 million doses in total from India. India also donated vaccines to Mauritius, Myanmar and Seychelles. Sri Lanka and Afghanistan are next on the list. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Government extends Ayushman Bharat health scheme to Central Armed Police Forces. India and China to hold the 9th round of senior military level talks at Moldo near LAC. Ladakh tableau to participate in Republic Day parade for the first time this year. World Health Organization thanks India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for their continued support in fight against COVID-19. 51st International Film Festival of India to conclude in Goa this evening, and National Girl Child Day being observed today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
The National Voters Day (NVD) will be celebrated tomorrow across the country to encourage, facilitate and maximize enrollment, especially for the new voters. The day is celebrated on 25th January every year since 2011 all across the country to mark the foundation day of the Election Commission of India. President Ramnath Kovind will be the chief guest at the national function being organized in New Delhi. The theme for this year's NVD is making our voters empowered, vigilant, safe and informed. It also focuses on the Commission's commitment towards conducting elections safely during the COVID-19 pandemic. The National Voters Day is utilized to spread awareness among voters and for promoting informed participation in the electoral process. A tableau from the Union Territory of Ladakh will participate in the Republic Day Parade on Rajpath for the first time this year. Ladakh's tableau depicts the iconic Tikse Monastery located on top of a hill in Tikse in Leh district and is one of the most visited tourist sites in the region. It also showcases the Indian Astronomical Observatory located in Hanle near Leh, one of the world's highest sites for optical, infrared and gamma ray telescopes. Ladakh tableau also highlights the vision for Ladakh to be carbon neutral. A total of 17 states and UTs will be represented on the Rajpath in this year's parade through the vibrant tableau, besides that of various ministries and the three armed forces. Union Territory of Ladakh was created in 2019 after the central government bifurcated the state of Jammu and Kashmir and came into two UTs. Members of the Ladakh contingent have expressed happiness that the tableau is part of this year's Republic Day celebrations.
The National Girl Child Day is being observed today. The day is observed for focusing attention on ensuring equal opportunities to the girl child. Narendra Modi government has given a lot of emphasis on the issue of girl child's education of and declining child sex ratio. In January 2015, Narendra Modi government had launched Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme with an objective to address the issue of declining child sex ratio. Mr. Modi had said that there is an urgent need to reduce the increasing imbalance in ratio amongst the girl and boy child for the betterment of the society.
आज भी हमारे देश में 1000 बालक पैदा हो तो उसके सामने 1000 बालिकाएं भी पैदा होनी चाहिए, वरना संसार चक्र नहीं चल सकता। आज पूरे देश में ये चिंता का विषय। मैं जरा माताओं से पूछ रहा हूँ, अगर बेटी पैदा नहीं होगी तो बहू कहाँ से लाओगे? और इसलिए जो हम चाहते हैं वो समाज भी तो चाहता है। हम ये तो चाहते हैं कि बहू तो हमें पढ़ी लिखी मिले, लेकिन बेटी को पढ़ाना है तो 50 बार सोचने के लिए मजबूर हो जाते हैं।
Our correspondent reports that seeing the good progress in improving the trend of sex ratio at birth in 161 implementing districts, Mr. Modi launched the All India expansion of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, covering all 640 districts in 2018.
The Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme has completed 5 years. The main objective of the scheme is to prevent gender-biased sex selective elimination and ensure survival and protection of the girl child. The scheme also ensures education and participation of the girl child through coordinated and convergent efforts. It is a central sector scheme with 100% financial assistance for district-level component, and the funds are directly released to the Development Commissioner and District Magistrate account. The child sex ratio, which was 918 in 2014-15, has improved to 934 in 2019-20 after the implementation of this scheme. The gross enrollment ratio has also improved from around 77% to over 81%. With Dipendra Kumar, Anupam Mishra, AIR News, Delhi.
The Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme has been able to bring the focus on important issue of female infanticide, lack of education amongst girls and deprivation of their rights on a life cycle continuum. The scheme has successfully engaged with community to defy the age-old biases against the girl child and introduce innovative practices to celebrate the girl child. Uttar Pradesh is celebrating its Foundation Day today. This is the 4th edition of UP Divas. The day was started celebrating only after Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath-led government came to power in the state. The programs of Foundation Day will continue for 3 days till the 26th of January. We have more from our Lucknow correspondent.
Uttar Pradesh Governor Anandiben Patel will preside over the main program being held at Awadh Silpgram in capital city Lucknow, and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will be the chief guest on this occasion. Besides capital city, the programs of Sthapana Divas will be conducted across the state in all 75 districts. The order have been issued to organize programs keeping in mind COVID-19 protocol. Besides Lucknow, the day will also be observed in Gautam Buddha Nagar district, where a huge exhibition is being organized that will continue till 10th February, and the theme of the exhibition is One District, One Product. This year, the theme of Uttar Pradesh Divas is Self-Reliant Uttar Pradesh, Women, Youth, Farmers, Development of All, Honor to All, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Samman. Dignitaries and people contributing in different fields will be honored on the occasion of Uttar Pradesh Sthapana Divas. App of MSME Department, Udyam Sarthi, will be launched on this occasion. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Chhattisgarh, GPS and panic button will be installed in all public passenger vehicles for the safety of women passengers. Transport Minister Muhammad Akbar said that the tracking device and command center will be set up to monitor the vehicles. A report from a Raipur correspondent.
The GPS and panic button has been made mandatory by the central government in public passenger vehicles. All new vehicles have these features. In Chhattisgarh, GPS system and panic button will be made compulsory in older vehicles also. The implementation of the scheme will cost around rupees 15 crore. 60% of this expenditure will be borne by the central government and 40% by the state government. The central government has released about rupees 4 crore from the Nirbhaya Fund to the Chhattisgarh government. 3 types of passenger vehicles, two-wheelers, e-rickshaws and auto rickshaws will be exempted from the GPS and panic button system. In all other public passenger vehicles, both these systems will be installed compulsorily. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
51st International Film Festival of India IFFI will conclude in Goa this evening. Our correspondent reports that despite the pandemic and related restrictions, the 9th event turned out to be a great success.
Actress Zeenat Aman will be the chief guest for the closing ceremony of IFFI. Minister of State for the Environment, Forest and Climate Change Babul Supriyo will also grace the occasion. Indian Personality of the Year award will be given to the Biswajit Chatterjee. Winners of the IFFI will be announced in this closing ceremony event. In this IFFI Lifetime Achievement Award was announced to Vittorio Storaro. Film on multifarious themes were screened that included regional language, movies from the Indian panorama too. Other categories were international competition, festival kaleidoscope, world panorama and other special screenings. Country focus this time was the Bangladesh. With the Mukesh Thali, Tushar Jadhav for AIR News from Panji, Goa.
The Railway Board has approved extension of the services of 10 festival special trains from the southern districts of Tamil Nadu to other states. The trains will run a total of 98 trips in both the directions during the extension from the first week of February to the beginning of April.
Months after the story of dubious flying license pilots case in Pakistan broke out, United Nations has cautioned its agency staff not to travel by any Pakistan-registered airline over safety concerns. The advisory was issued by the UN Security Management System, UNSMS. It said, due to an ongoing investigation by the Civil Aviation Authority of Pakistan into dubious licenses, caution is advised about the use of Pakistan-registered air operators. UN advisory has been recommended to agencies including the World Health Organization, UN High Commission for Refugees, UN Development Programme, Food and Agricultural Organization, and many others. In the light of this development, UN officials working in Pakistan cannot travel by any Pakistan-registered airline, even within Pakistan. In December last year, European Union Aviation Safety Agency, EASA, had extended a ban on Pakistan International Airlines for 3 months. PIA had suffered a loss of billions of rupees since the suspension of flight operations to and from the European Union and the United Kingdom. 19th meeting of the Joint Steering Committee on India-Bangladesh Cooperation in the Energy Sector was held in Dhaka yesterday. The steering committee took stock of the progress of implementation of the decisions taken during the last meeting of the Joint Working Group JWG and Joint Steering Committee JSC. According to the press release issued by the High Commission of India in Dhaka, the meeting also discussed the status of 1,320 megawatt Maitri Super Thermal Power Project at Rampal. Detailed discussions were held on power trade between India and Bangladesh through various interconnections. The meeting discussed ways for further enhancing the cooperation in the energy sector. India and Bangladesh have set up the institutional mechanism of JSC and JWG for reviewing and enhancing bilateral cooperation in the power sector between the two countries. The last meetings were held in March 2020 in Udaipur in India. Indian delegation was led by the Power Secretary Sanjeev Nandan Sahai, while Power Secretary Mohammad Habibur Rahman represented the Bangladesh side at the meeting.
In Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar and Mandi area in Poonch received heavy snowfall yesterday, which affected road and air connectivity in the region. Mandi area received at least 6 inches of snowfall. Heavy snowfall made the roads slippery, which affected traffic movement. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital is likely to have moderate fog. The city temperature will hover between 10 and 17 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was around 16 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 29 degrees. Chennai witnessed fog in the morning. It is expected to have partly cloudy sky later. The temperature will vary between 23 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata witnessed fog in the early morning. It will have mainly clear sky later. The city observed a minimum temperature of around 17 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 26 degrees. Srinagar will experience partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will hover between -2 and 7 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature is around 8 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 18 degrees. In Leh, there will be generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was around -8 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 1 degree. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between -3 and 11 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. The temperature will hover between 3 and 16 degrees Celsius. Dehradun will observe a minimum temperature of around 6 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 20 degrees. The city will witness thunderstorm with rain. Chandigarh witnessed fog in the morning and will have mainly clear sky later. The temperature is likely to hover between 12 and 18 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature is around 17 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 32 degrees. The city witnessed fog in the morning and will have partly cloudy sky later. Ahmedabad is expected to have a clear sky. The minimum temperature is around 12 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 28 degrees. In Patna, witnessed fog this morning and will have mainly clear sky later. And Guwahati experienced fog in the early morning. The minimum temperature was around 11 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 25 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying tribute to Subhash Chandra Bose is one of the stories that dominates headlines this morning. PM pays tribute to Netaji ahead of Bengal elections, leads the Hindustan Times. The pioneer, quoting the Prime Minister, writes, India becoming what Netaji envisioned. BJP Trinamool fight to claim legacy of Netaji, writes the Asian Age. India and Chinese military commanders are back at the LAC. Talks table today, leads the Sunday Express, adding, meeting scheduled after word from Beijing amidst extended winter deployment on both sides. BSF unearths tunnel used by Pak to send its terrorists to India, reports the Hindustan Times. Senate to begin Trump impeachment trial on 8 February, informs the Sunday Statesman. And finally, the iconic TV anchor Larry King dies at 87. Well, the Asian Age reports that Larry King, the suspender sporting everyman, whose broadcast interviews with world leaders, movie stars and ordinary Joes helped define American conversation for half a century, died on Saturday.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Government extends Ayushman Bharat Health Scheme to Central Armed Police Forces. India and China to hold 9th round of senior military level talks at Moldo near LAC. Ladakh tableau to participate in the Republic Day parade for the first time this year. World Health Organization thanks India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for continued support in fight against COVID-19. 51st International Film Festival of India to conclude in Goa this evening. And National Girl Child Day been observed today. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.